Good morning students, welcome back to the science class. We have done adaptations in the previous chapter. Today we are going to start with the life processes, and in that we will be studying about a very important life process, that is respiration. Children, you all know that we get energy from the food we eat, right? We need energy for different purposes, for different metabolic activities, for transportation of food, for digestion of food, for various activities we do, like our heart is beating, that also requires energy. We are running, studying, doing different work. For all that purpose we need energy. And that energy, as we have already studied, we get it from the food we eat. But how does this energy get released from the food? How do we get to use this energy? How the energy is released from the food? That is by the process of respiration. Now, in the junior classes, we have studied that human beings breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide, and oxygen helps to release energy from the food we eat. We are going to elaborate on this topic only, but there will be some more deeper discussions regarding the respiratory process. Now, we know that we need energy, and energy comes from the food, and energy is released by the process of respiration. So, let us first define the process of respiration. The breakdown of food to release energy is called respiration. Or we can say the process of breaking down food to release energy in the cells. The food is digested, it is transported to all the cells, it becomes an integral part of the cells, and there from that cellular respiration takes place and energy is released. Now, earlier we had a notion that respiration can only take place when oxygen is there. But now we can see that I have written here two types of respiration. Right? There are two types of respiration. One is aerobic respiration. Aerobic means in which oxygen is required. And second is anaerobic respiration, which can occur without oxygen also. So let us write down the definition of aerobic respiration. The process of breaking down food in presence of oxygen to release lot of energy is called aerobic respiration. Process of breaking down food in presence of oxygen, and in this case amount of energy released is quite large. Whereas on the other hand, anaerobic respiration means the process of breaking down food in absence of oxygen. Okay. Now here amount of energy will be less. Amount of energy released is less. Much less in comparison to the aerobic respiration. So naturally aerobic respiration is very common in higher organisms like human beings and the other mammals, birds, reptiles and all. Whereas anaerobic respiration is common in microorganisms like bacteria and yeast. They respire anaerobically. They do not require write down the chemical equation or the word equation we can write here. For aerobic respiration, the word equation will be food in presence of oxygen produces food when acted upon by oxygen produces carbon dioxide, water and energy. So amount of energy is more. Okay. Food is completely broken down in presence of oxygen to produce carbon dioxide, water as when we breathe out along with carbon dioxide, water vapor is also released and energy is produced. So this is the equation for aerobic respiration. For anaerobic respiration, this equation will become food broken down in absence of oxygen. Now in this case, along with carbon dioxide, ethyl alcohol is produced. So we write down ethyl alcohol, or in some cases it can be lactic acid also. But in microorganisms mostly it is ethyl alcohol plus carbon dioxide and less amount of energy, less energy. So here you have one more product, ethyl alcohol. The end products in case of aerobic respiration are carbon dioxide and water vapor, whereas end products in case of anaerobic respiration is ethyl alcohol or lactic acid along with carbon dioxide. Now let us see the basic difference between aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. The first thing is the definition. In aerobic respiration, oxygen is important, oxygen is necessary. In anaerobic respiration, there is no requirement of oxygen. Second point, as I said, amount of energy released in case of aerobic respiration is much more than that in case of anaerobic respiration. So amount of energy released in aerobic respiration is more, whereas amount of energy released in case of anaerobic respiration is very less. Then, in which organisms aerobic respiration occurs? Aerobic respiration occurs in case of higher plants and animals. And anaerobic respiration occurs in microorganisms like bacteria and yeast. So we can write here examples of organisms, bacteria and yeast in case of anaerobic respiration, and in case of aerobic respiration, all higher plants and animals, all higher plants and animals. Now, in human beings also, in certain cases, anaerobic respiration can occur. Now, where it occurs? In human beings, anaerobic respiration occurs in the muscles. When we are using lot of energy, suppose we are running, and at that time lot of energy is being used. So in the muscles, anaerobic respiration is also taking place because amount of oxygen supply is less, demand is more. So sometimes we get cramps in our muscles. It's very painful. And suppose after a race you have cramps in your muscles of the legs. So that is because in the muscles anaerobic respiration has taken place and lactic acid has been produced. And due to accumulation of the lactic acid, due to collection of the lactic acid in our muscles, that pain is there, those cramps are because of the accumulation of this lactic acid. Now how to get rid of these cramps? First of all, we need to increase the blood supply. So we can do it by massaging or using hot water bath. That will increase the amount of blood in that area, that blood circulation will increase, and as blood circulation increases, the amount of oxygen will also reach there. Then that oxygen will react with the lactic acid and convert it further into carbon dioxide and water vapor. Now blood supply will increase oxygen because blood is carrying the oxygen along with it, right? So this is how we can get rid of the cramps. So children, in this video we have studied what is respiration. Let me revise that. Respiration is the process of breaking down food to release energy from the food in the cells. That is cellular respiration also we can call it. And we have also discussed two types of respiration. Aerobic respiration, the respiration in which oxygen is required, and anaerobic respiration in which oxygen is not required. We have seen the word equations for both the types of respiration. The end products in case of aerobic respiration are carbon dioxide and water vapor and lot of energy. Whereas in case of anaerobic respiration, end products may be ethyl alcohol or lactic acid along with carbon dioxide and less amount of energy. So children, I hope this video will help you to understand the process of respiration. We'll continue in the next video. Till then, have a great day. Thank you.